must be made for me. Patience is everything.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Fatima. In today's video, we are finally going to be filming my updated everyday makeup routine. I'm basically going to put you guys on to all of the new tips and tricks that I've learned in the last couple of months about my makeup, because I definitely do it differently now than I did like a couple months ago, a year ago. So I'm really excited about this. I have some new products. Some of the products are the same, but this video is extremely highly requested. So with that being said, let's get right into today's video. Before we start, you guys, just letting you know I am a little bit congested. There's something going around and I caught it, unfortunately. Okay, maybe you guys hear it in my voice, maybe you don't. The first thing that we're going to do is our brows. So I'm going to go in with my brow pencil. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Soft Black. It's soft black, so I try to be very light-handed with this or it tends to look dark. We're just going to start out and carve the bottom of my brow. At the top as well, just giving myself a guideline of like what I want my brows to look. I'm kind of just gonna fill that in using very light hair strokes. So I'm gonna do the same thing to my other brow, and I'm making sure to like line them up. Like a lot of people's, my brows are not symmetrical. One is like higher than the other, but you kind of just want to try to correct that when applying your makeup. When it comes to applying the pencil, I don't try to make it perfect because obviously we're going to go in and like carve out my brows. Now I'm going to go in with a brow gel. I'm using the Refi brow gel. I love this one specifically because it comes with the gel on one side and the brush on the other side. And we're going to brush the product into the brow upwards. Another thing you should know about this brow gel is that it's better to apply your brow pencil or your product before you apply the gel on. If you go in and like try to apply product after, it might kind of like peel the product a little bit. And just like brush everything up, and then I'm gonna shape the top. The reason why I love using brow gel is because I have very thin brows and it kind of just gives the illusion of me having thicker brows, which I love that. I'm gonna go in with two concealers to conceal under my brows. These are the Too Faced Born This Way concealers. I'm gonna be using the shade Chestnut and Butterscotch. We're gonna go in first with the Chestnut. We're just gonna apply that under the brow. For like the tail end of my brow, I like to go with the lighter concealer, so I'm going to use Butterscotch, and we're just gonna let that dry. If you guys watch my videos, you guys know I always let my concealer dry down, especially when it comes to like carving out under your brows. I want my concealer to thicken up. I'm gonna go in with my moisturizer. I'm using the Ole Henriksen Strength Trainer Peptide Boost Moisturizer. This has been my go-to moisturizer lately just because it feels so nice and smooth on. And then I'm going to go in with the Pharmacy eye cream. This is the Wake Up Honey eye cream from them. And we're going to go in and prime. I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I think you guys are the one who actually put me onto this because I was asking for dupes for my Milk Hydro Grip Primer and you guys told me to check this one out, and I am absolutely in love with this primer. It's actually a little bit more tacky than the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and it's like at a fraction of the cost of the Milk one. So this has been my go-to lately. As you guys can see, it's like literally almost done. I think the concealer under my brow is tacky enough now, so I'm going to go in with this little brush from Morphe. It doesn't have a number on it, so I'm honestly not sure. I'm going to go in with the small brushes from Real Techniques, the Deluxe Crease Brush, and I'm going to just blend this out or buff this out. Edges, just so nothing is harsh, of course. So for foundation, I'm using the Makeup by Mario foundation. This is in the shade 21W. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This is the first time I'm using this foundation. I know this is supposed to be like makeup products that I've used and stuff. Normally I go in with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Chai. However, the shade is just a little bit too dark and I've been mixing it with another foundation and I didn't want to come on camera and like mix foundations. So I picked this up recently and I've tried it on. It's like a perfect match. I've like worn it, but I haven't did a full beat with it. But I'm honestly pretty confident that I'm going to like this foundation. I've heard so many great things about it online. This foundation brush from Sephora, this is number 56. I'm just blending this out. I don't put foundation directly on my forehead, but usually with whatever's left on the brush, I'm going to apply to my forehead. Next up, we're going to go in with concealer. I'm using my favorite concealers currently, the Too Faced Born This Way concealers in the same shade, so Butterscotch and Chestnut. These are just so soft and buttery smooth. They're easy to blend as well, which is really important for me. And I love the fact that you get a good amount in this little bottle. I'm going to go in with Chestnut first. This is the darker shade, and we're going to start applying that under the eye. And I always apply my concealer up on my nose as well. This is going to help to make your nose look more snatched. I'm going to apply some down here as well. Personally, I feel like I have a more oval face, so in order to balance things out, I like to apply my concealer horizontally just because I feel like it widens my face out. I like the way that looks on me. And then I like to drag my concealer out a little bit just to lift my eyes. When I blend that out, I'm going to blend that upwards, and that's just going to give me like a lifted cat eye look. Now we're going to go in with my second concealer. This is in the shade Butterscotch. I'm going to apply this in the inner corner to really brighten that area specifically. And then in the center of everywhere else where I place concealer, and I apply that onto the bridge of my nose. Okay, and now we're just gonna let that dry down once again. I'm not gonna blend that out immediately. I need this to get a little bit more tacky. Now we're gonna go into cream contour. I'm using my favorite for a while now. This is the Juvia's Place Shade Stick in the shade Sokoto. I'm gonna place some of this on to my hand. This brush is from Villa Beauty. I think you can find them on Instagram. This is the F1 brush. I love these brushes. They're very high quality, and I'm really gonna like blend that into my brush so also that like it's dispersed evenly on my brush. I actually have forehead space to work with now, so that's nice. My cheekbones and my chin. The reason why I love these and I've like used these for a while now is because this just blends out so easily, like so well. So next up, I'm gonna go in with this like a flat, slightly fluffy brush, and I'm gonna again take some of that product, and we're gonna go in with the nose contour. When it comes to nose contour, I like to start at the tip of my brow right here and then bring it down the bridge on the side. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start applying that like so. Again, with this, I don't need it to be too dark because we're gonna go in with powder and deepen that out later on when I apply my bronzer. We're really just creating a bit of a shadow. You know what? I'm also going to use my little fan on my concealer since I just want it to dry down a little bit more before we go in and blend this out. Now I'm gonna go in with my Sephora 71 brush. This is a pro concealer brush. I love this brush. It's just like a flat like blending brush, and it does really well to blend out my concealer. So I usually start down here with my chin, and I'm blending out with a brush first just to get the exact shape of the concealer, placing the concealer exactly where I want it to be so that when I go in with the beauty blender later on, the concealer will stay exactly where I need it to be. And then with whatever's like kind of left on my brush, I'm also going to apply some of that concealer to my top lip area, and then we're going to blend out under eyes, starting with the edges. And I also love blending out with a brush because it really just gives me precision. I like to kind of just drag it down when it comes to my nose, just to make sure that I'm really creating a straight line. Like I said, we're gonna bring this up higher, the concealer right here, just to give me a little bit of like a more lifted look. Now we're ready to blend out with my beauty blender. I'm using this one from e.l.f. specifically. It's so nice and soft, which I love that for blending out my makeup, and it's also very inexpensive. Just lightly tapping onto my face. We're not trying to move the concealer around at all. We're just trying to like blend it in place. And then I'm going to go in with my foundation brush and just blend the edges out. I do this because I want everything to be a gradient. Blending everything out with my foundation brush just like allows everything to blend more seamlessly. Next up, we're going to go in with my cream blush. This one is from Fenty in the shade Summertime Wine. As you guys can see, this has hit pan because I use this product every time I do my makeup. I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. putty blush, and I'm going to use that to apply my cream blush. I basically apply my blush where we used to apply our highlighters back in the day, so on top of your cheekbone, right up here. I even drag it up here under my eye a little bit. And don't be afraid to apply a lot of cream blush because it kind of will get hidden once you apply your powders. It might look crazy, but we're gonna definitely tone it down. So I like to apply some blush like up here, forehead, and a little bit on the side of my nose. Just lightly apply some to the side of my nose. I feel like this just makes everything blend more seamlessly. Before we go into powders, with whatever's left on my Pro Concealer brush from Sephora, I'm going to go in and reverse contour. I start at the bottom of my ear and I drag it up until the corner of my mouth, and then I'm going to blend it out with my foundation brush, just because when it comes to my reverse contour, I really do not like for that to be too bright. Now we're gonna go into powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier powder in the shade Honey. This has been my go-to for a while as well. I'm just gonna go in and blend under my eyes one last time just to get rid of any creases. So now I'm gonna go in with my powder and I'm gonna look down because I do not want my eyes to crease. Take the foundation and apply all the excess to your hand, or sorry, the powder. And then we apply onto the under eyes first because obviously that area tends to crease. So we want to set that right away. And now we can set the rest of my face where I place concealer. With all the excess that you have left on your beauty blender, you're going to put that onto the back of your hand. And we're just going to go ahead and set that concealer. I also set my brows a little bit. So initially we're just going to go in and set. We're not baking. And then now we're going to go ahead and bake, which is my favorite part. I love baking. We're going to take some concealer onto your beauty blender. We're not going to dab that onto our hand. I'm just going to go in and apply that to my under eye area. I usually like to start on the side of my nose. Again, this is to make your nose look smaller, more pinched. When it comes to the lines on the side of my nose, I take my time with it because you really want to make sure that the lines that like you're making with your bake is straight. It's kind of like the outline, I guess, for your nose contour. So if the nose is crooked, your nose is also going to look crooked. So take your time with that. And then we're gonna bake directly under the eye, and of course we're gonna drag that out a little bit. Next up, I'm gonna bake the concealer that I have like on the bridge of my nose. For that, I really like for that to be perfect as well. So I'm gonna use this flat, straight brush. I'm gonna put some of the powder on there, and then we're going to apply a straight line down the middle. And then I kind of like to make this a little bit of like an exclamation point circle right there, since I kind of like to give the illusion of like a button nose. Now that that's done, we're gonna go in with our bronzer. You guys already know, but I'm gonna be using the Fenty bronzer in the shade Mocha Mommy. You guys know this has been a staple in my makeup routine for a while now. So with this brush, I'm gonna go in and place a little bit of product on there, starting once again at the top of my brow and just bringing that down. I'm actually gonna like really go in over here at the top of my brow and like really deepen this, because that's really going to help with your nose contour and just making your nose look snatched. Okay, I did place concealer over here, but we're kind of gonna make that area darker with the bronzer, as you guys can see, and then we're going to bring the bronzer down. I'm gonna place them at the bottom right here. And now we're going to go ahead and bronze my face. This is the Morphe M527 brush. I'm being very light-handed with this brush and just like tap. This is really going to just warm everything up. Like Mocha Mommy, you guys already know, it's going to warm you up, make you look sun-kissed. Now we're gonna go in and apply some blush. I'm gonna go in with the Sephora 96 brush. I'm using this Pat McGrath Labs blush in the shade Cherish. Apply some blush on here. Exactly where we placed our cream blush, so right on top of your cheekbone. I do bring it up as well, and then I do bring it into my under eye as well. And one thing about me, I love blush, so I will definitely apply a lot of blush just because I love the way it looks, and over time blush kind of starts to like disappear a little bit, so I just apply a lot from jump. And we're gonna reverse contour with whatever powder is left on my beauty blender, and then we're gonna blend that out with my foundation brush. I didn't apply any shadow, which I usually don't do any shadow, but I'm gonna go in with the bronzer Mocha Mommy with the same brush I used to nose contour. I'm just gonna go in and apply some of that onto my lid, just in my crease, and then I flick it upwards at the end of my eye. So I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and again, just press everything in. We're not gonna dust everything off. I'm just gonna press everything in place. So to blend this out even more, I'm gonna go in with my foundation brush and just blend the edges out once again. I'm also gonna go ahead and apply just a little bit more blush with whatever's left on the brush, because sometimes blending out my powder takes some of that out. And now we're gonna do the lip. So for my lip, I go in with the Kiss lip liner. This has been my go-to for years now. I have used a bunch of other lip liners, some high-end, some drugstore as well. This I get from the beauty supply, and honestly this has like nothing compares. I love the color of this. It's not like too dark. It's just the perfect brown for me. So I really only overline on the side and make it a little bit bigger. I kind of drag it outwards. And then I also like to kind of cancel out my cupid's bow and make my top lip appear more straight. And then another thing that I like to do is I actually let my lip liner, my lip liner dry down a little bit before I go in with my gloss. I really feel like this makes a difference, just so that like your lip liner doesn't move around too much. Now we're gonna go in with lip gloss. I usually go in with the Morphe lip gloss in boho, but I'm definitely currently out of this. I have used this all up. So I went in store and they didn't have boho, but they had Saturn, which is very similar to boho, just it seems a tad bit darker. So we're gonna go in with Saturn today. When it comes to my lip, I keep it very simple, just lip liner and gloss. Like I said, the boho gloss is really good, but honestly the Saturn is very similar and it still looks really good. So okay, you guys, this pretty much concludes the video for today. This is how I do my everyday beat. This beat is like perfect for taking pictures if you're going to be on camera. It's beat down, but it's like not doing too much at the same time. It's very much a soft glam. I don't use any setting spray, but this will definitely last me all day because I used a lot of powder and I did bake. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, go ahead and click the like button. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are going to get any of these products, if you guys already have any of these products. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and I'll see you guys in the next one.